V, get down, he's wet.
Max Tech! Be here in a moment! Hold him! Hold him till they get here!
Talking to me?
Don't let him kill me!
We're not scabs or anything. You can trust us.
You're here. I know you are.
Hello everybody, welcome back to another video. In this one I'm going to be showing you guys my pistol and crit build for Cyberpunk 2077. I'm going to be going over the attributes, the perks, as well as some of the gear that I'm using, so cyberware and weapons and things like that. So let's get started. I'm trying to make this video as short as possible, but anyways, starting with attributes. What you're going to want to do here is you're going to want to max out reflexes to 20 as well as cool up to 20, and within those attributes you're going to want to try and level up handguns to 20 and cold blood under cool. So starting with handguns though, for the sake of this video I did respect myself as much as possible, so I do have 57 perk points available, but those at least for me, I kind of just chose some stuff to improve like quality of life, so like faster reload. But in this video I did just go ahead and repurchased all of the perks that are essential to just dealing damage in general with pistols. So yeah, oh, I actually forgot to buy that one actually, so I'm gonna do that. But anyways, I'm gonna go through all of these here, and I'm not gonna tell you guys like what like particular order to get these, because you are at the end of the day gonna try and get all of them anyway. So yeah, but anyways, the first one here is Rio Bravo, which increases your headshot damage with pistols by 30% when maxed out. The next one here is Long Shot Drop Pop, and this one is going to basically make it so that you deal more damage to enemies further away. The next one here is Desperado, which is just a flat bonus to your pistol damage. The next one here is Fistful of Eurodollars, which is going to increase your crit damage with pistols and revolvers. High Noon increases your crit chance to 12% when maxed out. And Wild West removes the damage penalty when shooting from a distance. So this one with this one here synchronized pretty nicely. So that's the reason why I got those. The next one here is Brain Power. So after a successful headshot with a pistol, your crit chance increases by 25%. And then finally, this one is the final perk that you get when you unlock, or rather max level handguns. And this one is going to be giving you a damage and armor increase by 30% after a successful crit hit. And it increases by 1% with every time that you purchase this perk. So you can keep leveling these perks up as much as possible. So in theory, I can pretty much invest however many perk points it allows you to have into this perk alone. And yeah, it's pretty nice. But even with the first rank, this one still does a significant like it boosts your damage output significantly, like I said, even at first rank. So yeah. Anyways, moving on, we have Cold Blood. So this one is also going to kind of synchronize pretty nicely with pistols. And so over here, this one in particular is pretty tricky to level up. Like handguns, the more you use handguns, the more XP you get for that perk tree, which is, you know, kind of obvious. But with Cold Blood, the way to kind of level this up is kind of tricky. So Cold Blood here, the first perk, I recommend that you get early on in the game, because this perk tree is basically always going to be in the background of your firefights. And so whenever you do complete a firefight, you are going to get a little bit of XP every single time with Cold Blood. And so you do want to level this up to max level as soon as possible, because Merciless is one of those perks that does help out with the pistol build. So definitely invest into Cold Blood. Even the first rank is enough, but I just maxed it out for the sake of this video anyways. But anyways, with that being said, the first one here is Critical Condition, which is going to increase your duration of Cold Blood by 10 seconds. Unbreakable, which increases your stack by 1. And Coldest Blood also increases it by 1. And that's going to give you a total of 3. Now, also another thing to kind of keep note of is that Cold Blood kind of works in a way of like keeping momentum with kills. So when you get that first kill and you get that stack of Cold Blood, then basically with every new kill that you get, it's going to maintain those effects. So it's kind of like a keeping up the momentum of killing enemies and dealing damage and things like that. So that's the way Cold Blood works. But when you do have those effects, you are going to want to maintain Cold Blood for as long as possible. And so Coagulant is also a pretty nice perk to have. So instead of, like, if you don't find a new enemy to kill or anything like that, instead of removing all of your stacks of Cold Blood, Coagulant is going to make it so that it's removed one by one. So you still have a small little gap of time to find a new enemy and maintain Cold Blood. The next one here is Cold and Calculating, which when you land a critical hit here, you have a 25% chance of applying a stack of Cold Blood. So again, pretty nice to have. And basically whenever you do get a crit hit, you have a 1 in 4 chance of getting that bonus. And then Frozen Precision is kind of basically like the reward. So all of these perks here are kind of like just trying to maintain that momentum, but Frozen Precision is what really kind of makes it shine, as well as Merciless. So what this one is going to do is it increase your headshot damage by 50%, and then Merciless is also going to increase your crit chance by 10%, as well as your crit damage by 25%. And you can continue purchasing or leveling this perk up, and with each perk level, it's going to increase your crit chance by 1 and your crit damage by 3. So pretty nice to have as well. Now under Stealth, there are a few that I do recommend that you also get. In particular, these two here, Sniper and From the Shadows, because for the most part, what I do personally in this game is I don't go in stealth and, you know, and wait for the enemies to notice me. Instead, if I do see an enemy, I'm always the first one to shoot, and Sniper and From the Shadows really helps with that. So what Sniper does, it's going to increase your damage from headshots fired outside of combat by 50%. So if you're just if like you see a group of enemies and they're not shooting at you and you're the first one to start that fight, basically what this is going to do is it's going to give you a 50% bonus to your headshot damage. And so again, it's a pretty nice way to start a firefight. The next one here is From the Shadows, and what that one is going to do is upon entering combat, so once you take down that first enemy and, you know, for some reason another enemy kind of catches you, which is kind of intentional anyways, because you are the one that's going to start the fight anyways, this is going to increase your crit chance by 50% for 7 seconds. So again, those are pretty nice effects to have whenever you're initiating combat. The next one here is Hasty Retreat, which increases your movement speed. This one's optional, but I'm going to show you guys why I got this this perk to begin with. And then the final one under Stealth is Assassin, which is just going to give you a nice 15% more damage to human enemies. Under technical ability, there is one under engineering, which basically makes it so that you deal more damage to drones, mechs, and robots. So also pretty nice to have as well. And then under annihilation, this perk tree is more geared towards shotguns as well as LMGs, but there are a few universal perks under here that I do also enjoy using. So the first one here is Skeet Shooter, which is going to basically make it so that you deal 15% more damage to moving targets. Dead Center, more damage to torsos by 20%. And then here are the ones that kind of synchronize pretty nicely with that one perk that I showed you guys under stealth. So temporarily boosts your movement speed by 50% when you are detected by an enemy. Basically, this right here, Manic, when entering combat, your movement speed also increases by another 20% for 10 seconds. And Momentum Shift, so whenever you're defeating an enemy, you get a bonus to your movement speed by 20% for 10 seconds. And you just deal more damage with Speed Demon the faster you're moving. So you can kind of see where I'm trying to go with this. This build is more towards people who like to rush in the game. So running and gunning and things like that. You're not really taking cover or anything. This is basically the way I play with this build. But like I said, those are optional. Like the movement speed ones are optional. If you guys want to do a little bit more stealth, then you can go ahead and do that. But at the end of the day, it's all up to you. Now, for weapons and gear and things like that, you can make this build even better when you take into account like armor mods and things like that. So even with no mods right now, the stuff that you saw in the beginning of the video, that's just me using this thing. I don't have any mods on this gear at all, but I can make it even better with armor mods. So the one that you're gonna want to get is, or the clothing mods that you're gonna want to focus on is Bully, as well as Deadeye, and there's another one that starts with a V, and that one is going to increase your crit chance. Bully increases your crit damage by 30%, and Deadeye is basically the other two mods combined. So Deadeye at the end of the day is going to be the best one that you can get, and you can pick them up from vendors when you're a higher level. And so I kind of make it a priority to purchase the Deadeye whenever I see them. They are quite pricey, so I only have like 3, but I'm trying to get as many as I can. So Deadeye is definitely the way to go. And like I said, I can make this build do even more damage with mods, but I'm not even using them, and I'm already, one-shotting enemies and cyber psychos as it is. So pretty nice. And the weapon of choice here that you're gonna want to get is the Overture revolver, and this thing has insane effects. As you guys can see there, I have 100% crit chance, crit damage, bonus ricochet damage, 10% bleeding chance, and the headshot damage multiplier is at 6. So this thing is definitely, I don't know if every legendary Overture revolver has the same effects, but I definitely got lucky with this one when I found it at a gun vendor. And I even equipped it with a silencer, which reduces my damage by 15%, and even then I'm still one-shotting enemies. And it's also kind of helpful with that 2.5 damage multiplier when you are attacking from stealth. So again, just in general, this weapon is really, really nice to have. So I definitely recommend that you go out of your way to get this revolver in particular, but I like to switch between this revolver and the I'm trying to find it real quick. I have a legendary pistol here, this one right here, the M10 AF Lexington. I like to switch between these two because the revolver, as nice as it is, it doesn't really have that big of a magazine size. Obviously it's a revolver, so I like to use the Lexington every now and then, and it still has pretty decent stats. As you guys can see, that 30% crit chance and 75% crit damage. It's still pretty nice to have, and the headshot damage is at 3, So it's still pretty good to have, but the thing is, I like to use this pistol because it has 22 bullets in the magazine and it is automatic. So I like to switch between the two, depending on what I want to use for that gunfight. Now, as far as cyberware goes, pretty much what I recommend that you get for the most part is just going to be the Kuroshi Optics mod, which is called Trajectory Analysis, which is going to increase your headshot bonus damage by 50%. So pretty nice to have. And then Weak Spot Detection, which increases your crit chance by 5%. Not the biggest change, but it does add up, and at this point it's just min-maxing, so you can definitely ignore those mods if you don't want them, but you definitely want to just at least get Trajectory Analysis for that really nice 50% bonus damage to headshots. And for boss fights and things like that, this also helps as well, which is the Sandevistan Mark V from Militech. And what this is going to do is when you activate it, it's going to slow down time by 30%, which honestly, I hate that effect, but the other bonuses that it provides really makes it worth it anyways, which is it's going to increase your damage by 15% and your crit chance by 20% and your crit damage by 35%. And with mods, I recommend that you get the neurotransmitter and the prototype chip, which just increases the crit damage and crit chance ever so slightly, but like I said, it adds up, and at that point it's just min-maxing. So yeah, not really you can ignore it, but yeah, if you want to increase the potential damage that you can be doing, then yeah, you want to get these mods. But anyways, with that being said, that's going to conclude this video. I try to make it as fast as possible, but yeah, with that being said though, thank you so much for watching this video, and I'll see you guys in the next one.